Caterpillars from my yard, and we brought them in and did a time-lapse video, and you might be wondering why we're showing this. I'll explain in a minute. And then the monarch butterflies come out of the chrysalis. We had so much fun. We did this multiple times that year, and then that's my husband's finger. Obviously, I'm in the background, and then we took them out and let them go. And why am I showing this to you?
Man, they're so beautiful.
Because I truly believe out of all the things that we present on QVC, and man, I just bought another purse today. Like, I do a lot of great shopping on QVC. But out of all the things we present, I do think this year, this is the most important thing that you can buy. In a way, by buying this, you are really kind of giving back and helping the monarch butterfly. Because, Steph, we have presented our native Asclepia plants in the past, but this year more important than ever before.
Yes, and that's because, Sandra, in July of 2022, they were officially put on the endangered species list. So what that means is the next step would be extinction. And this plant is truly the solution to that problem. So when I say every garden in North America should be growing this, you also can grow it. It's very easy, and by doing so, you are helping save the monarch population.
So the thing about it is, I think sometimes people say, oh yeah, I've seen monarchs on this plant or that plant. They might have stopped by on a plant, and you might see other butterflies lay eggs on other plants. But when it comes to monarch butterflies, the only plant in the entire country that they can lay their eggs on is this, Asclepias, and it's also the only plant that the caterpillars can eat. And Steph, there's just not as much of wild Asclepias as there used to be.
That's right. You know, this collection is called the Native Asclepia Collection, and that's because, you know, Asclepias is native to North America. However, for many reasons, you know, more concrete being poured and farmers using more pesticides and things, the wild version of this plant is just going away, and so there's no food for the monarch. And like you were saying, Sandra, the reason why this is truly, you know, the one plant for the monarch, they have like radars, and so when you have this in your garden or on your patios, they will find it, and the monarch will lay its eggs on the underside.
They find it fast.
They find it fast. Oh my gosh, super fast.
They find them very fast.
Yep.
All right, over half of what we have is already gone. More than 13,000 have been ordered this year. Now, the wild Asclepias, you might know it is milkweed, and the monarchs love to eat that too, just like they love to eat this. But you would not really want to grow wild Asclepias because, frankly, it's just not that pretty, and it gets too big for our gardens.
That's right.
You're bringing us gorgeous plants.
Yep.
Look how pretty they are.
Yep.
And that's mixed colors.
That's right. That's where the bouquet part of the name comes in, because this is the native Asclepias that's been hybridized to be beautiful in the garden. So the plants will only be about 3 feet by 3 feet, you know, once they're fully grown. And the flower umbels, like you're seeing here, are extra large, and you're getting
so pretty.
3 colors, yellow, pink, and orange together.
And I will tell you, I had some butterfly bush or butterfly plants, Asclepias, that were not Robertas, and I'm ripping them out this year because the Roberta ones are just prettier. I'd rather just get more of these. So this is actually in your yard, right?
That's right. So on the left is a caterpillar that I saw on one of my plants. At one time, Sandra, not kidding, I had 50 caterpillars because I counted them all. The next day I went out and I didn't have any more food for them, so I went to a local garden center, and I live in California. They didn't even have Asclepia. So even if I wanted to grow a Roberta's collection, I couldn't find it.
Well,
so
you know what? I can't believe you're saying that. I told you that's kind of what happened to me, except for I could find it. I spotted it at a nursery for a lot more money. And listen, the monarchs didn't care. They ate it too. They weren't like saying, it's not Roberta's, I'm not doing it. They ate it. But the problem was, it costs a lot more, and I hated the plant.
It's just not pretty.
Yeah, exactly. So get something your monarchs can eat. It's going to give you gorgeous flowers. And did I mention $6 each, free shipping and handling? I paid way more for, frankly, inferior plants at my local nursery.
Yes, and you know, not all Asclepias is winter hardy. Some of it is tropical. This is winter hardy variety. So when I say every North American garden can grow it, I truly mean that. This can take temperatures down to like negative 20 degrees. So, you know, if you live by the Canadian border, you can grow it. I grow this down in Southern California. And by planting this in your backyards, in your containers, you are truly doing your part in helping save the monarch butterfly population.
You know, I say even if you live in a more condensed area, more urban area, and you're like, oh, that's for someone who has a yard in the suburbs. You know, if you have a pot, grow it in a big container. Because actually, the monarchs, as they're flying over your city, need a place to land. And if there's no Asclepias, there's no eggs no caterpillars, no more monarchs.
Right.
And they are endangered now.
They are on the endangered list.
Look how pretty these flowers
Yeah, and
are.
I wanted to just mention, you know, if you don't have a garden, no worries. You can grow them easily in containers. So this is what you're going to be receiving. Let me just pop one of
I'll
these
hold the
out. Thank
container
you.
up, yeah.
So this is one of 6. It's a 6-piece collection. You're getting 2 of each color. And I just wanted to show, Sandra, from this plant that I have to what's down here. This is after just like 6 weeks.
They grow fast.
They grow so fast. You're gonna get flowers this very season. This is not a bare root. This is a growing plant that's going to bloom for you this season.
That's the Ellie pot, right? So it might be hard to see on air,
Yep,
but
there you
that's
go.
actually a paper container. You just can't see the paper.
That's right.
Super easy to plant. You just pop that in the ground.
That's
you know
right.
what? Let's take a look at that video again now that we kind of have some
please.
context for it. So just to set it up, I grew Roberta's, Asclepias, and I was walking to get my mail one day, and I looked and I saw the little tiny caterpillars. So I got very excited, and my husband and I brought them in, and then the kids and I, over the course of a summer, I think we did this 3 times. That's in my kitchen. It's eating the Robertas, and then they go into this cocoon. And then I always say this is like our Super Bowl. We were so excited. When the cocoon goes clear, you know they're going to come out. And then about a half hour later, their wings start to puff up. And then we took them outside. And I always say, it was so fun, and we did it over and over. I always say, this was really fun for our family. If you want to do it, I encourage it. Just keep bringing in your Roberta's Asclepias. But you don't have to do this. All you have to do is grow it. They'll find it.
It's
the most
find
important thing you can plant this year,
Absolutely.
in my mind.
I completely agree. And it's kind of, you know, you're checking off your good deed for the year by planting this.
Plant enough, though. They like to eat it.
Truly.
It's the only plant that I'm happy when, like, the monarchs
when the
eat
leaves
it.
are gone.
Exactly.
Absolutely. When you see caterpillars, you know, on your leaves, that is the sign. That is a good sign. And here you see a swallowtail, Sandra. So like you said before, all sorts of pollinators will come and enjoy the nectar of the flowers, but the leaves are what are most important to the monarch butterfly. It's the only plant in the world that the monarch caterpillars are going to actually eat. And so, you know, for various reasons, the wild version of this, the wild milkweed, is just, there's just not very much of it anymore. So by planting this, you're going to have a feast for your eyes. It's a beautiful plant, a beautiful addition to your garden, and it is truly giving a real feast to the monarch butterfly.
You know, my mom and I were talking about this, and she grew up very rural, and she grew up on a farm, and she was saying when she was a kid, just all the cornfields and the farmers' fields, it was just all wild milkweed.
Absolutely.
And she said she notices even driving around, they still live pretty rural. You just don't see it anymore, and it's partly because there's a lot more pavement. Farmers use various pesticides now that maybe, but the problem is that might help food supply, and we got more pavement for parking cars, but the monarchs just don't have enough Asclepias now to eat.
And I truly can't imagine a world without the monarch butterfly. It would be a really sad, you know, existence. And so by planting this, when you see those cute caterpillars on your plants, don't freak out. That is what you want, and you are truly helping save these beautiful butterflies.
I like what your Uncle Court does. He puts one up against the house, one set, because the flowers are just so pretty, and then he just plants a set out back and lets the monarchs have at it.
Exactly.
So pretty. I do love the orange Asclepias with purple flowers. I think that's so pretty. Yeah, with lavender, it's gonna be amazing. Can you tell us about your warranty?
Yes, I would love to. So we have Roberta's Gotta Grow guarantee. So when you're happy, we're happy. We will assure you satisfaction for our perennials like the Asclepias for 1 year, and our annuals and tropicals for 90 days from the time of shipment. So if for whatever reason your results don't match our expectations, just give us a call, because we want your garden to be its absolute best.
Thanks, Steph. Coming up, I'm so excited about this. You know, micro